Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My dear students, we were doing sources of borrowed capital. In today's lecture, we are going to see American Depository Receipt and Global Depository Receipt. Before starting with the topic, let's see the process of ADR and GDR. Now, if I say American Depository Receipt, what is depository? Depository is nothing but to keep something safely, or I can say to keep something in a vault, in a safer place. Okay? And receipt is nothing but an acknowledgement. You already know receipt is nothing but an acknowledgement. So can I say depository receipt is nothing but a return acknowledgement, right? Now coming to the process, see, if an Indian company wants to raise additional capital from foreign country, or a foreign investor wants to invest in our country, that is to buy shares of the Indian company, is it possible for the investor to buy shares directly of Indian company? The answer is no. Here is the process how a foreign investor will be buying the shares of Indian company. Now see here, Indian company gives hold of the shares to the domestic custodian. Now domestic custodian, here there is a custodian in your country who will hold the shares of your company on your behalf and will update or inform the same to the overseas depository bank. Okay, now see, holding the share with you and then informing the same to the foreign bank, that is foreign depository bank, and that foreign depository bank will hold the share, will have the depository, will keep your shares safely and then will update and then will give an acknowledgement to the foreign investor, and then foreign investor will buy those American depository receipts. Now your shares get converted into American depository receipts when traded in other country. So yes, in this, foreign investor will be in position to buy the shares of your company in the form of ADR or GDR. So can I say American Depository Receipt or Global Depository Receipt is nothing but shares, those who are converted into receipts. Receipts are nothing but return acknowledgement given by the depository bank. So this is how the process of ADR and GDR works. Now coming to the main topic. See, in India, the shares of public company are listed and traded on various stock exchanges like Bombay Stock Exchange and National Stock Exchange. We have already seen shares are listed on the stock exchanges, that is Bombay Stock Exchange and National Stock Exchange. If the company is listed in India, it's compulsory for the company to list the shares on the two stock exchanges, right? Now see, with adoption of free economic policy, and due to globalization, some of the Indian companies' shares are also listed and traded on foreign stock exchanges. That means the shares of Indian companies are listed and traded in the foreign stock exchanges like New York Stock Exchange and National Association of Securities Dealer Automated Quotation, that is NASDAQ. Okay, New York Stock Exchange, NYSE, and then you have NASDAQ, that is NASDAQ. These are the two foreign exchanges where Indian companies' shares are listed and traded. Now see how the actual trading takes place. See, to list the share on these stock exchanges, company has to comply with the policies of those stock exchanges. Now, if you are going to trade or if you are going to deal in the other country, it's very important for you to follow all the rules and regulations of that country. So now to list the shares on those stock exchanges, it's very important for an Indian company to follow the rules, regulations and policies. The policies of these stock exchanges are different than the policies of Indian stock exchanges. Obviously, all the stock exchanges have their own policies depending upon their country. Therefore, those Indian companies which cannot list their shares directly on foreign stock exchanges get listed indirectly using ADR and GDR. So now if the company is not in position, or it's not able to comply with all the rules, regulations and policies of foreign stock exchange, company tries to convert those shares into ADR and GDR, and thus the trading takes place between the two countries. That is, your Indian company trading ADR and GDR in the other foreign country. Okay. Now see, these two popular depository receipts, American Depository Receipt and Global Depository Receipt. Let's take an example. If it's Reliance Industries Limited, depository receipts would be traded on these stock exchanges: Frankfurt Stock Exchange in Germany, Luxembourg Stock Exchange in Luxembourg, and then you have London Stock Exchange in England. And here, when you're coming to American Depository Receipt, there are two stock exchanges, that is New York Stock Exchange and Nasdaq. Okay. Now see, ADR and GDR are dollar or euro denominated instrument. Now these receipts are traded either in dollar or euro if it's traded in USA and Europe stock exchanges. If you are trading in American Depository Receipt, that is, if you are trading in USA, you will be dealing in dollars. Or if you are trading in Global Depository Receipt, if you are trading in Europe, it will be dealt in euro, that is the currency of that country. Okay. Now see, Indian company issues shares to an intermediary called depository. Now this is very important. See, Indian company issues shares to an intermediary called depository. Now if I want to trade in any of, let's say if I want to trade in America, I want my shares, I want an Indian company shares to be listed in America, I would be contacting an intermediary middleman between the two. Okay, that middleman is none but depository. Now Bank of New York and Citigroup are an example of foreign depository banks. Okay, if you are going to trade in ADR or GDR, it's very important for you to go through these depository banks. So example is given, Bank of New York and Citigroup. So these are the two banks that deal with ADR and GDR. Indian company issues shares to an intermediary called depository. Bank of New York, Citigroup, etc. act as foreign depository bank. Now see, these depository bank issues ADR and GDR to investors against these shares. What bank does? Banks get the shares of the company and then tries to issue the same in their own country. See, there are certain important points which you are supposed to remember. The ADR, GDR represent fixed number of shares. Let's say, for example, one ADR, that is one American Depository Receipt, can hold 10 shares of the company. These ADR or GDR are then sold to people in foreign country. The ADR, GDR are traded like regular shares. They are listed on the stock exchanges. American Depository Receipt and Global Depository Receipts are listed on the stock exchanges in the foreign countries. The prices fluctuate depending upon the demand and supply. Just like we have seen, the prices of equity shares fluctuates depending upon the market conditions. In the same manner, the prices of ADR and GDR fluctuates depending upon the demand and supply. See, both ADR and GDR are depository receipts. Both are same, they both are depository receipts. It's the difference is of location, but only difference is the location when they are traded. If depository receipt is traded in USA, it is called American depository receipt, and if it is traded in a country other than USA, it is called global depository receipt. See, this point is very important from your objective point of view. Depository receipt traded in USA, American depository receipt. Depository receipt traded in country other than USA, it is called as global depository receipts. Now see, how does a company issues depository receipts? How a company issues depository receipts? Now see here, this company Sand Limited wants to raise foreign capital for the purpose of expansion. Here, Indian company will try to give those shares to the bank. The bank will buy the shares of the Indian company. Okay, the bank will be a foreign bank. Keep this point in mind. The bank will be the foreign bank. So yes, foreign bank located in India will buy the shares of Indian company and then will inform the branch, the main head branch in the foreign country, and then the foreign country branch will try to issue ADR and GDR in the country. Okay, see here, the Sand Limited wants to raise 10 capital from the foreign country to, so here Sand Limited, the bank will buy the shares and then the bank will inform the home branch that the ADRs is received and then the ADRs will be traded in the other country. See, it's an example here is of HDFC Bank. Now, HDFC Bank got the shares listed in America in the form of American depository receipts, where one ADR is equal to 3 shares of HDFC. So now JP Morgan Chase is a American bank having a branch in India. So yes, this bank buys the shares of HDFC, or I can say the ADR of the HDFC Bank, and then it's listed in American Stock Exchange in the form of ADR. See, HDB is nothing but the short form for HDFC. HDB is the initials given in American stock exchanges. See, non-resident Indians and foreign nationals can invest their money in India by purchasing ADR and GDR. They cannot buy the shares directly. They can buy or they can purchase ADR or GDR if they want to invest in an Indian company. They can buy ADR and GDR using their regular equity trading account. This equity trading account is nothing but the demat account, which we are going to study in the further chapter. The company pays dividend in home currency to the depository bank, and the depository bank converts it into the currency of investor and pays the dividend. Now, let's say an Indian company is here and an Indian company wants to give dividend on that ADR or GDR. Indian company will give dividend in rupees to the bank, and then bank will convert that rupees into dollar, and then dividend would be paid to the foreign investor. See, the stock exchanges on which GDR is traded are as follows. Now, see, global depository receipts. If you are trading in America, it's American depository receipts. Apart from American depository receipts, all the other receipts are considered as global depository receipts. So now they are traded in London Stock Exchange, Luxembourg Stock Exchange, Nasdaq Dubai, Singapore Stock Exchange and Hong Kong Stock Exchange. These are the 5 stock exchanges where Global Depository Receipt GDR is traded. This is all about ADR and GDR. Okay, this is a short small topic. You can expect a single question and most likely the objective type questions from this topic. See here, it's an image given so that it would be easier for you all to remember. London Stock Exchange, Luxembourg Stock Exchange, Nasdaq Dubai, Singapore Stock Exchange and Hong Kong Stock Exchange. See, we have come to the end of this topic and there is only one question given in the textbook. What is Global Depository Receipt? If this question is asked, you are supposed to write the whole introduction and then the examples where the GDR is traded. That's all for today. Thank you.